The Bitcoin ETF pump has sent XRP and XLM to some juicy green candlesticks. But it appears those candlesticks aren't lasting, and I'm going to share with you some data that I've been harvesting along with my resources so that you can follow along, but things aren't looking good. And I haven't taken a day off in the month of October, doing more than 2 videos a day. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter. And that's why I share the viewer comments before we get into the juice. Ray Wagner says people like Warren and Gensler have an open ticket to lie as much as they want. They aren't accountable to anyone. I totally agree with that. In fact, what about Cointelegraph that said the BTC ETF was approved? And what, over $100 million worth of people got liquidated and all they said was sorry? Does that give people their money back? This future man says, I thought the case was over. We still got the penalties to deal with for primary sales. Peter Kennedy says, Ripple won't pay this much. All they have to do is tell the judge, nope, let's go to trial. They would like to settle beforehand because think about it. Think of all the additional expenses that they're going to pay. This is basically like a second trial in terms of effort right now. When the SEC requests $770 million, they got to come back there and come back with data, facts, etc. This is going to cost so much more fucking money. What a joke. Shannon Dow says, XRP left the station all right and turned into a train wreck. Love the comments, everyone. Keep it going. All right. XRP XLM pump doesn't seem to be holding. Hell, the market pump doesn't seem to be holding. I'm going to share with you some sources. Yes, sources why. They're all linked down below in the description so that you can follow the stuff yourself. I'm not being negative. I'm just showing you what the data is telling me. This is a news channel information. Bitcoin sitting at 33,804. The erosion is starting. ETH 1767. Sol retracing big. Everyone thought the Sol pump was going to last. Not a chance in hell. XRP under 55 cents at 54.9. XLM at 11.1. HBAR 5.1 with XDC. Not much happening. 4.9. All right, let's get into it. XRP fate hangs in the balance. Deaton on the Ripple SEC saga. Share this with Deaton, and then we're going to get into some news, some data. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, and the SEC haven't engaged in any meaningful settlement talks. The SEC is both angered and embarrassed, seeking a staggering $770 million. Deaton remarked, this phase is akin to a second lawsuit, necessitating additional depositions, interrogations, document production requests, including emails, bank records, contracts, and ODL transactions. Deaton's right. The SEC asking for such a preposterous amount is now forcing Ripple to spend shitloads more money. That's what the SEC is doing. Delay, delay, delay. The more the SEC delays, the more that their friends in TradeFi, traditional finance, can take a foothold. All right, let's start going over some data, all right? Wall Street falls as Alphabet disappoints and Treasury yields rise. Benchmark Treasury yields edge closer to the 5% level, reviving fears of interest rates hovering higher and longer than anticipated. No wonder this market's not holding Treasury yields. The dominant themes of the day are disappointment with tech earnings and rising interest rates. Rates continue to be a huge overhang on the market, as they should be. The yields on the 10-year Treasury notes resumed their upward drift after robust new home sales data and mortgage rates reaching 23-year highs. Come on, everyone. Didn't you tell me that housing was going to pop? And I was the only YouTuber out there telling you that housing was going to stay rip-roaring hot, and it has been? It's because I've been following the data, not the hopium. New home sales were very strong, well above expectations, which means the consumer can handle more rate hikes, which means Jerome Powell and the Fed have the green light to raise rates even more. We're optimistic over the next month we'll get economic data that shows that rates are too high. You're going to have seasonal housing slowing down. That's about it, everyone. Here's that 10-year for you. Looked at it, peaked above 5 a couple times. Look how close it's getting. That 10-year holds above 5. Fuck, this rally's over with. All right, let's get into more resources. That was the 10-year, by the way. All right, we're going to look at market cap, TVL. The reason I want to show you this has to do with things TVL and volume. TVL is the total value locked in blue. Volume is in green. Now, let's just kind of make it from like this juicy start here, okay? Take a look. TVL was high, prices were high. Now, right here, right? Remember Luna UST crash? That's this right here when you can see the TVL. That's when a ton of people pulled money out of the crypto markets, okay? So when we're looking at data, this is what I'm looking at. Massive pull out of money in the crypto market. Massive, massive pull out. In fact, it's been crazy, crazy low ever since for TVL. Volume also has been super low too. So what you can do is you can actually zoom in just a little bit more here. And you can see this, right? Again, volume hasn't done much. So this ETF move, that's this right here. But you can see these candlesticks are starting to erode. TVL seems to have plateaued. So if the TVL is plateauing, meaning people ain't going to put more money in, and the volume is going down, well, no wonder the crypto market is starting to flash red. Let's keep learning. Decentralized exchange action. Oh, this is DEX volume. Sorry for the cough there. Look at the volume on DEXs. And again, this is exactly what I've been talking about. Yes, during juicy times, look at how big volume was. 237 billion, but look at these moves now, 44 billion. So the ETF, it's going to pump up prices a lot. It should pump up volume a lot more. Look, we haven't really pumped up that much in volume from month to month. In fact, August 31st to September 1st, we went down. Pretty much sideways in October, and that's with juicy ETF news. So this shows you graphically, right, graphic representation, that the oomph for ETF really isn't that big of an oomph. Yes, the price is pumped up, but the TVL didn't go up too much with it, along with the volume on DEXs. Let's keep learning. What about liquidations? Yes, I'm following liquidations. Why? Because as the market starts swinging on back down, I want to see how many people get wrecked. Total liquidations by volume. Now, what you can do here too is you can specifically click on XRP XLM. For instance, 2.62 million in XRP was liquidated. I don't expect that number to climb until we get closer to 52 cents with XRP. I've been watching some resistance levels. We get to that 50 cent mark, you are going to have massive amounts of liquidation. So this is a liquidation heat map for you. Awesome to check it out. And again, like I said, you can figure it out. You can look at XRP, you can look at XLM, Bitcoin liquidation, whatever you want to check out. Now, future open interest for XRP. I've got your back, everyone. Come on now. All right, open interest. You notice open interest, that's this column right here. In the last 24 hours, open interest has been peeling to the negative side. So if future open interest is down, along with TVL going down, along with volume just not being there, and the prices are cracking, well, I think we know what's going to happen with the market. So this is the kind of stuff that I follow. I start looking at XRP. I start looking on what exchanges where the open interest is eroding. Let's start looking at the ones of the Korean exchanges. Hey, are Korean exchanges eroding more or less? If the Korean exchanges are eroding less, that means there's still some open interest on the Korean markets, which could keep the prices up. But if the Korean exchanges are showing high open interest to the negative side, well, then people aren't really given much of a shitola. What's interesting about this is look at Kraken and look at CoinEx. 17% open interest on the downside, and Kraken at 11% open interest on the downside. So some of these exchanges, specifically Kraken and CoinEx, are starting to show even more erosion for open interest in the future. Now, when you look at the price action of XRP, you can see, yep, had some retracements, had the high here. Look at the price of XLM, same thing. But now look, XLM had a retracement right before I went live with this. So it's one thing to look at the prices, right? It's one thing to, zoom out and, do charting, technical analysis, and blah, 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 Bollinger Bands, whatever you want to do, okay? But you got to start looking at some of the other data out there. Open interest, liquidations, especially forced liquidations, where people are like, we're just going to get run by the numbers. Then as the numbers go lower, you see the numbers get run more and more. Then what you do is you start looking at open interest to see if open interest starts pivoting. When good news happens, what do? I look at TVL along with volume. Total volume along with DEX volume. If DEX volume isn't pumping up, then you know what? None of us are going to give much of a crap. In fact, here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is from March to now, weekly charts, okay, for volume. So if you're sitting here thinking the BTC ETF volume was going to pump up big time, look, show me where. Nothing. Nothing. In fact, any pump volume we had is nothing compared to June's volume, May's volume, March, April. See what I mean? So if the data and the numbers are telling us, volume is down, volume did not react, TVL itself did not react, right? And again, you could zoom back in, check it out. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. Gonna be some viewers that are gonna try to drag me through the mud, saying I'm negative, saying I'm anti-crypto, and I'm actually just the opposite. I dedicate hours and hours of every day to the crypto market, scrubbing charts, articles, and so forth. I literally watch this stuff all day long. So when you see me go pumps and dumps, well, it's because I'm watching the market all the damn time and I've got all this data that I'm aggregating in to let me know what I should do. Now, what you should do, that's your own thing, but that's why I wanted to share these resources with you so that you could start using the data that fits your situation, because your situation and mine are very different, of course. Now, this movement not lasting could be changed, right? The movement could easily last. And you're like, Klaus, what would make the movement easily last? What could keep XRP and XLM keep going up and up and up? Actual approval of the ETF. It's buy the rumor, sell the news. But if we get actual approval and then we start getting some value tied in, because if we get approval, other companies are going to want to get in. And what are they going to do? They're going to have to back their funds with the BTC, which means they're going to be on a buying spree. So then what we get to do is we get to look at TVL, we get to look at volume, and we get to specifically look at Bitcoin. If all of a sudden now the market is taking it and you see Bitcoin pulling up more and more and more, you know the market's going to run with it. That's why I focus on all these analytics so much. The data and the analytics are not emotional at all, right? They're not about moon. They're not about, we're all going to go to zero. It's nothing like that. They're numbers, and numbers don't carry emotion. And that's where I think a lot of people are getting messed up. They're getting emotional about their holdings. They're watching programs where it's like, yo, we're going to the moon, 40,000, 100,000. But they're not looking at the data. Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street said it best. It happened in the late 80s, and Gordon Gekko didn't have crypto. Then he had stocks. But this is what Gordon Gekko said. Don't get emotional about stock. It clouds the judgment. Now, Gordon was a bit early as crypto came how many years later. But I think Gordon Gekko would be telling us all the same thing. Don't get emotional with crypto. It clouds the judgment. Stick with the numbers and the data. Zoom out, look at the big picture, and see how it applies to you. That's the whole point of this channel. That's why I have not taken a day off this month. Minimum 2 to 4 videos a day. Doesn't matter if the haters are ripping on me nonstop 24/7 in the comments below. I'm helping you out. Yes, you, the viewer out there that wants to see the data to make smarter choices. What am I doing today? Well, I've been procrastinating all damn day. I got a speed workout. Oh, I don't want to do it. I do. I've got a speed workout today. Got to do some sprints. Pre-burn, sweat my ass off getting ready for it. You cool cats? Well, check out some data. Let me know your thoughts. And have a great rest of your day.